The city of Norfolk is the poster child for the effects of climate change. My cat sleeps 22 hours a day and is awake enough to know that. Chronic flooding, about half of it the result of sea level rise from record melting of the Earth's ice caps, is getting worse at an accelerating rate. Our coastal waters could be about 1.5 feet higher sometime between 2030 and 2050, according to the Virginia Institute of Marine Science, but the latest research keeps cranking those numbers upward. And beyond mid-century, the flood will keep coming. Just that 1.5 feet is enough to drown several $1 billion worth of commercial and residential real estate, dozens of miles of highways and rails, and a third of our port facilities. Even more irreparably, it will mean the potential loss of Virginia's wetlands. They support a couple of dozen kinds of commercially valuable fish and innumerable wildlife species. Virginia is the third largest marine producer in the United States, with total landings of about 250,000 tons a year. The dockside value to watermen alone is close to $200 million a year, the largest seafood production of any state on the East Coast. Governor Terry McAuliffe has told the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality to propose regulations to reduce carbon pollution at power plants, but not until just before he leaves office in January, and with no set goals for those cuts. He took office in January 2014. Republicans immediately condemned McAuliffe's move as overreach that will slow economic growth. Wake up, friends. It's way past time for Democrats, our Republican-dominated legislature, and especially us residents to get a lot more serious about Virginia's climate future. This threat is not distant. It's immediate, and it's right here. The University of Virginia Climatology Office says annual average temperatures have been increasing quickly across the state since the mid-1970s. Climate scientists say the heat is dangerous, and it will continue to build fast after that. 60% of Virginia is forested. As the heat trend continues, we risk losing huge expanses of those forests to fires and heat-accelerated insect populations. You can also see the troubled horizon in projections made by the climate physicists Katherine Hayhoe and Sharmistha Swain of Texas Tech. In 1970 to 1999, Norfolk saw, on average, 25 days each year that were 90 degrees Fahrenheit and above. But climate disruption will nearly quadruple that by around the year 2065. We'll be living with more than 3 months of swelter, the projections suggest, if we don't make changes. Virginia's climate will be something like South Carolina's by mid-century, and something like Louisiana's or Alabama's by the end of the century. If the world works very hard, very quickly, on the greenhouse gas problem, climate change could slow. It could level off by 2100. Virginia politicians of both major parties are moving slowly. Perhaps they hope the problem will just go away. Or maybe it's explained, in part, by the source of many of their campaign donations: fossil fuel corporations, Dominion Energy, Appalachian Power. For the Democrats, these companies are strange bedfellows. Virginians should ask their political representatives and candidates for office now why that is and what they'll do about it. Unlike other states, Virginia is failing to push rapid conversion to solar power and other renewable energy sources, aggressive fuel economy requirements for cars, and planning for the changes we will face. In the General Assembly, climate disruption is about what's expedient, or it's a kind of political religion. That will change as the disruption accelerates. No political leader who doesn't respond to a threat of this scale and intensity will be electable. But the longer we take to engage with reality, the steeper our losses will be. The past 3 years were the hottest years on record around the planet, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The first 6 months of 2017 have each ranked among the top 3 warmest months on record. How much longer will any political party be able to remain in denial? Stephen Nash is the author of Virginia Climate Fever: How Climate Change Will Transform Our Cities, Shorelines, and Forests. University of Virginia Press, Virginia. Acclimatefever.com. It won the American Institute of Physics Science Writing Award for books. He is a visiting senior research scholar in journalism at the University of Richmond.